I want to make a quick video tonight to talk about how to use LangChain with JavaScript. So right now I'm doing a series of blog posts essentially explaining how you can actually use JavaScript and Node.js to actually build these AI applications that let you connect your data with your different language models. And one of the things that's really nice about LangChain is that they have all these different interfaces that you can use for essentially working with all kinds of different data stores, all kinds of different large language models. You can use OpenAI, Anthropic. There's a bunch of them out there, but there's also a ton of open source ones that you can also plug into as well. So with that being said, I'm just going to create a very simple one here. So if we come over here and look at my screen, we can see that I have this example.js file that I've started writing, and I also have a blog post which I'll link to here in this video, so you can see how to do this on your own. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is, since I'm using OpenAI, there's an OpenAI key that you need to be able to create. There's an API key that you can set up, once you have an account with OpenAI. So I need to be able to load that up. So I'm going to use .env to actually load that up. So if I come over here, I can say import, and I'm going to say asterisk as .env from .env. All right, and that lets me import my .env. And so now that I have that, I'm just going to call .env config, and that will bring in the environment variables that I need to be able to build this application. So now that I've done that, the next thing I need to do is I need to import in OpenAI, but specifically the chat model. So I'm just going to say import and chat OpenAI, and you can see right here that there's actually already an import here for LangChain OpenAI, which is a specific package you can use for working with all the OpenAI specific functionality. So now that I've done that, the next thing I do is create a chat prompt template. So now I've got the chat template, and one of the things that's I'm using Copilot here, and Copilot sometimes gets a little enthusiastic and picks different imports than what you actually need. So I'm going to set this to prompts, and that should be correct. And now the next thing I need to do is I need to import in the string output parser, because once we get all of this information back from the LLM, we need to have a way of being able to display it. So I'm going to pick my string output parser, and it's coming from the LangChain core output parsers, I believe. So that was pretty close. So now that I have my imports in here, the next thing I need to be able to do is to actually create a prompt. So I'm going to say const prompt, and the way we create a prompt using the chat prompt template is we say chat prompt template and from messages, and this is going to expect an array. So in that array, I'm going to say I want to have a human, and then the next item here in that array is going to be specifically what I want to prompt it with. So I'm going to ask it to do a conversion here between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'll say, what is the formula for converting Fahrenheit to Celsius? That's exactly what I want to do. So now that I have that, the next thing I need to be able to do is actually create the model. So the model is going to be based off of new OpenAI, or chat OpenAI. There we go. And since I already have that environment variable imported, I don't need to manually put it in here, but I do have it set to OpenAI API key. And so if that's what your environment variable is set to, that's what it'll default to when you go to create the models. Now we've got our model. So the last thing we need to do is create the output parser. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to say output parser is equal to a new string output parser. So now that we have these three different objects here, now we can actually use what LangChain's meant to do, which is to actually chain these things together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new chain. And this chain is going to be equal to model. And there's different ways you can do this. I'm just going to pipe the prompt. Actually, I did that wrong. Let's take the prompt, and pipe that into the model. And then we're going to pipe that into the output parser. So now we've got our chain. So the last thing we need to do here is we actually need to be able to run that. And so one of the things I want to do, since this is actually coming from a large language model, and one of the capabilities you have is to be able to stream this out. So rather than wait for the whole response to come back and then output that, what I want to do is, as I'm getting that data back from the large language model, I want to be actually able to display that as it's coming in. So it creates a better user experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for await, taking advantage of the sync and await functionality here inside Node.js, and I'm going to say const. Oh, you know what? I skipped a step here. The first thing we need to do is get a stream. So let's do that. Let's get a stream. So I'm going to say const stream is going to be equal to chain dot stream, and we need to wait for that. And now that we have that, now I can actually come in here and do for await, and I'm going to say const and chunk. I can spell that. There we go. Chunk of stream. And it's writing this chunk out. I'm going to specify that we want to use UTF-8. All right, and now that I've done that, now I can run this. So this file is called example, so I'm going to say node example. Run that, and I got an error. Why did I get an error here? And it looks like because I have the wrong path here for my output parsers. So let's just double check that. And this is LangChain core output underscore parsers. And once again, that's something that I got tripped up on. So let's try running this again. And there, voila. So hopefully this shows you that it's actually very easy to actually come in here and build very simple chains using LangChain and JavaScript. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you can give it a thumbs down, but I prefer you give it a thumbs up. That helps the algorithm. And subscribe to my channel. I can do more videos like this. And this is going to be the first in a series of videos that I'm doing on specifically LangChain and JavaScript. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.